Do scope, squeeze. Appreciate everybody's been rocking with the channel, supporting, subscribing. Appreciate everybody, man. Again, every subscriber we get or like, comment, whether it's bad or good, we appreciate it all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed All-Star Weekend. We running up on Sunday now at the amazing weekend. We had a fire skills challenge. We had people cheating. We had people trying their hardest to cheat and come up with plans to win. We had a 3-point shooting contest. We had the dunk contest. We had people jumping over cars. It was an amazing weekend, right? Come on, clap it up. Clap it up. I'm pretty sure ain't nobody clapping with me. But, hey, look, man. The main issue with going on with the NBA right now, we gotta get into it, man. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. Like we all been seeing everybody complain about, the product and, some, diluting how it's not presentable, no defense, blah, blah, blah. Everybody complaining these days about it. Whether you an active player complaining, you in the media complaining, you on the sports shows complaining, you on Twitter complaining, or X complaining, whatever, Instagram complaining, everybody complaining. Everybody is complaining. Y'all all some damn followers, man. Everybody some damn followers, man. I feel like it's some of y'all that's really complaining because y'all really got some issues. A lot of y'all, man, it's just man, it's words I want to say. I don't know if you two gonna flag me. But a lot of y'all some damn followers, man. Y'all just want to be in the know. Y'all just want to say something because everybody else complaining. You want to complain too, like. My issue with everybody complaining is you ain't doing nothing to advance the game. You talk about how bad the game is and how it's going backwards. But if you can't say nothing nice about what's going on in the game right now, because it's some great players, it's great teams that actually do what you're asking for, and you don't never want to shine a light on them, and you just want to get your 5 minutes on airtime to just speak about the negative, you also are hurting the product just as much. People's minds are so skewed these days. You basically making up. People can't think for themselves. You basically putting their opinion there for them. I think that's what a lot is going on here. Because when you look at some of the complaints here, let's go into the All-Star game. The All-Star game, what remnants of the All-Star game do y'all remember? Because the way y'all describe it hasn't been that way in a very, very long time. A very long time. Y'all always talk about bringing back to the 2000s. It was competitive during this time. And fam, the NBA the All-Star game was never really competitive until the last 8 to 10 minutes of the fourth quarter for at least the past 10 to 15 years. The past 20 years, since the 2000s, it's been like that. When all y'all favorite great players, AI, Kobe, Shaq, Duncan, Garnett, watch those games. It is on YouTube, readily available. Please go watch it. I literally just did it before the video. At least like 6 or 7 of them. Doug Collins is actually on air saying these things. 2004 All-Star game. This is what Doug Collins said. Yo, man, we in for a lot of threes tonight. It's going to be plenty of threes hoisted up tonight. Another thing Doug Collins said, the NBA had to sit down with the players and discuss that even though it's entertainment, we want y'all to at least be a little competitive. These are complaints they had in 2004, which means it wasn't even competitive back then. It was a layup line too. It was layup lines. It was mad open mid-range shots. Nobody was really playing defense even then. So stop acting like this nostalgic period where it just started getting bad. They wasn't playing defense really back then either. They got serious towards the end. Now, if you want to say in the past couple of years they wasn't even getting serious towards the end, you got it. You got it. But let's not act like it was 48 minutes of just intense competitive basketball. That's just not the case. And that's the main problem with everybody complaints now. I don't know if people thinking for themselves. Y'all act like it was some glory days where certain things weren't happening that are happening now. Newsflash, they was complaining to the refs a lot back then. It was ticky-tack fouls back then. It's hard fouls now. It was hard fouls back then, but it wasn't hard fouls every play back then. It was times when people went to the rack a lot and it was minimal contact. It wasn't hard fouls every team didn't play like Detroit. Every team didn't play like Boston. Everybody wasn't getting smacked on the ground. when you look for things to complain about, you gonna find it, and that's what everybody doing these days, man. You it's gonna be something regardless on how the NBA is. To grow the game, it starts with the people inside the game to grow it. Even Windhorse, Brian Windhorse has talked about how the media has failed at their job growing it because they want to worry about the storyline. They stop worrying about storylines and looking for clickbait and drama-worthy headlines. You think that you bring that to NBA on TNT? I think everybody begged for them to come back and didn't want them to go. They have been doing a more disservice to the product than anything, and it's not all of them. It's not all of them, but Shaq and Chuck Charles, they've been the main proponents. All they do is shit on the players that they speaking about. And if you listen to their critique, they ain't even watching the games. They saying shit that ain't even true, or things that was true 3 years ago that ain't got nothing to apply to now, or they're giving the most generic advice. If it's a big man, you might as well just forget Shaq and what he coming out his mouth, because he gonna say something. He gonna just try his best to shit on them. And if you look at Barkley, he just saying stuff, right? Like, I remember a time Barkley was like, man, the Lakers lucky, man, it's a play-in, man, because they'd have been screwed. The year he said that, the 2 previous years, the Lakers made the playoffs in like the 7th spot, which means the play-in actually jeopardizes their chances. They ain't help them. Now, I'm not nitpicking everything they say, but I'm talking about if you listen to Barkley, you listen to his critique about what he talk about certain teams are better or worse than other teams. That team normally has a better record than the other team. The other team been fell off. They all over the place with their commentary. They don't watch the games. Purely entertainment is what they there for. But because they are one of the most watched things coming out of the NBA, that's what people gravitate towards their words. But everything is coming out as negative, and y'all put a microphone in front of everybody, and that's all they speaking about. Then what are you relaying to the consumer? You put it in their heads that this is a trash product. And again, I'm not saying it ain't certain. There's entirely too many threes. I get it. There's certain teams that take a lot of threes. Bulls, Boston, Golden State. There's a lot of teams that take a bunch of threes. But also a lot of teams that don't. OKC, Houston, these are teams that got hard-nosed defense is what I'm saying. It ain't all about just three and running. There's a lot of teams that don't play that way. No shining light on them. You just want to look at Boston. You want to look at the Bulls breaking a record with some other team for most threes. And that's not the whole league. It's not the whole league. I mean, I understand you want to fix a problem. Like, if y'all go to therapy and y'all identify the problem, they don't tell you to identify it and then harp on it for the rest of the year. Identify it, find a solution, or just leave it all together. It's people that have outgrown, if you want to compare it to music, it's people that have outgrown artists 10 albums ago, but as soon as the artist drop with some new music, they the first ones to listen at 12 a.m. at midnight. You outgrew the man 10 years ago. You ain't like his last 8 albums. But as soon as he drop a new one, you listen to it the first one out of everybody, just so you could go online and tell people how much you hate it. That's the same thing that's going on in the NBA right now. It's people that outgrew the NBA and don't like what it's become, but watch every time they can so they can go online and tell you how much they don't like it. At the end of the day, man, y'all complaining about the All-Star game. Silver tried to fix it. Now, I don't think the solution was the best. You could tweak it a bit. But we can't lie and say that wasn't the most competitive All-Star game we had in some years. Let's be fair. That was one of the most competitive ones we got in some years. Now, they could tweak some things here and there, because I do agree with some of the things Draymond said. You know, he brought up, like, the rising stars shouldn't share the court. You know, you got to make being an all-star more of a prestige, make it a special thing. I agree with that 100%. He also said, like, the target score 40, you really don't, you rob guys of having career moments and record-breaking moments. And I agree with all that. I agree with that. But the accountability is where he lacked that, man. He just brought up how trash the format is, but not why the format had to be created. And now you get everybody talking about let's go back to East and West and all that. Y'all was complaining. Y'all was complaining nonstop for the last 5, 7, 10 East and West matchups. So don't just say let's go back, like let's go fix everything. Y'all hated that what was going on there. That's how they ended up changing it. Everybody wanted to be competitive, and you know I do too. I'm not excusing what they do in the All-Star game. I'm not excusing it. But a lot of this comes from revisionist history and people have this weird nostalgia of what happened, like what they thought, or some of the things that happened that just wasn't happening, like some glory days that don't exist. Like, they don't exist, man. Like, at least not the way y'all want to frame it. At least the way y'all want to frame it. Like, hasn't been a All-Star game where it was like competitive all the way through in a very, 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 very long time. Over 20 years, man. Like, come on. Like, that's like, what are we talking about now? If y'all saying y'all just want them to compete in the last quarter, then say that. But from what I'm reading, y'all saying y'all acting like it started off competitive from quarter one, and that's just not true. That's just not true. I mean, the games are readily available to watch. You have commentators like Doug Collins actually saying the NBA had to meet with them in 2004. All-Star game said they had to meet with the players to discuss being competitive. Talking about it being a three-point fest back then, before the revolution of the three-point line and everybody doing it. So we got to be honest with what we're seeing here, man. Now the NBA is just filled with people that just want to complain about it, and they're getting warped. They're getting warped into this. They're feeding into the negativity surrounding it. Ratings going to drop. Everybody want to figure out their own symptom to it. I think that all plays a part, man. You turn your own product off where if every time somebody get in front of a mic, that's all they want to do is complain about it. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man? The NBA has so many different things you could pick, man. You could... If you want to complain, you're going to find it. What they say, you go through your part in the phone, you're going to find something. The same thing with NBA, though. Like, if you want to pick something you don't like and you want to, say something, then you won't find it. You won't find it. But people say they want change and then they don't like change, man. Like, if Silver's trying, throwing things at a wall, man. Like, again, I don't think this format going to stick. I don't think necessarily was a great one, but they throwing stuff at a wall, man. Y'all acting like they saying complicit and ain't just like deal with it. Like they trying to get something up, man. But the players got to play. It's up to the players, man. You need more players that don't like each other. I think you'll see more competitive games with the rise of international players because they don't come in with that built-in AAU friendship, that built-in they went to camp together with some of the players and they built that friendship to the league. You ain't gonna have a lot of that with them international players. That's why it's easy for guys like Wemby to, have that attitude. Wemby was playing hard right today because he said he ain't here to make friends. And it's easy because he coming over from France. He don't know these guys. Y'all remember when Giannis came in the league? He had the same type of thing. Giannis was like, I ain't here to make friends. I don't work out with guys in the summer. Like, the rise of international players is going to bring that competitiveness back to the regular season. These guys don't got these built-in friendships. They don't come in with some of the culture moves where, teaming up and some of the things, right? That will help at least a part of the symptom there, the rise of the NBA players there. And again, they could work on the three-point line. I'm not saying the product is perfect. It's not. But there's things I've seen people identify what's wrong with it. And they just repeating what somebody else said, or it ain't even true, man. Like somebody was saying, Eddie Johnson was saying, former NBA player Eddie Johnson was talking about how there's nothing but pick and rolls and less off-ball movement than ever, which is not true. I mean, they did a stat, which I quoted. I think it was Second Spectrum. I think that's what it was. And this is one of the fewest pick and roll seasons that they've done. As far as like pick and roll averages, like this is one of the lowest. And so I mean, I'm just saying, like, And all ball, it's mad all ball plays being ran by a lot of teams. A lot of cuts. Denver is known for cutting. That's all they do. Warriors do a lot of off-ball screens to just free up Steph and other players. I know JJ has put a lot of wrinkles in there. He's doing it with Dalton Connect and some of his players. Like, it's a lot of off-ball movement. But, like, again, if you want to pick something to complain about, you're going to find it. So, that's all I got to say, man. Going a little rant. That's all I got to say, man. I'm just saying. Let's focus on some of the positives about the game. Let's focus on growing it. Because if all y'all going to do is complain, get online and complain. You part of the problem, too. This is Through the Scope. This is Queese. I'm out.